the decision to make carers eligible for the health and care worker visa should be made permanent.
Not joking, all my guys, them know me.
Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Oti, and if you're new on this channel, please kindly like this video, subscribe to my channel and click the bell so that whenever I post new content on this channel, you will be the very first to find out. So December 2021, I came out here to announce that care assistants have been added to the UK shortage occupation list, and in February 2022, that was February last year, it was implemented, and lots of people have entered the UK via this route. So many people, their lives have been changed because of this route. They've been able to relocate from wherever they are from or wherever they've been living to the UK with their family. Like, that's the good thing about this route. After 5 years, you're able to get your ILRO and then your British passport. So people don't joke with this route at all. Now, why was care assistant added to shortage occupation list despite the fact that it is a low skill job? By low skill job, I mean you're not required to go to university or do your masters and all that in order to be a care assistant. You just need to make sure that you have experience, you get the required band for your IELTS, and then some require that you have care certificate, some require that you have NVQ level 2, but basically you just need to have training. You don't really need to write any professional exam like doctors, nurses, and all that health professionals. It used to be one of the simplest and easiest way to migrate to the UK until recently, when a lot of things have just been going haywire. Now it was added because lots of people in the UK were not taking up the job, and if you've ever worked as a carer, especially in a care home, you can get like over 50 residents, over 60 residents, sometimes even over 100 residents, depending on how big the care home is. And one carer, we have to sort out up to like 6 or even 7 clients. Like, you give them breakfast, you bathe them, you shower them, oh my goodness, you cook, you clean. Afternoon, the cycle continues. Evening, the cycle continues. Like, carers were working like donkeys, and it was only fair for them to add this to shortage occupation list so they can be able to recruit overseas carers to the UK. And yes, fortunately for a lot of us, it was added February this year, and massive recruitment was done. I personally know like people that came into the UK using this route. They are settled now, living their life, planning their lives, probably living their dreams. I don't know, because the work can be really tasky. Now, when this was launched, the government announced that this is going to last for a period of 12 months. That's 1 year, and this is January, right? So next month is February, and a lot of people are asking, what is going on? What is going to happen? Are they going to extend it, or would they extend it indefinitely and just leave it as it is, just the way doctors and nurses have been added to shortage occupation list and it's been there for like a very long time? Or are they going to stop recruiting carers? Because you will agree with me that if you go on Indeed, read Total Jobs and other job sites to search for care assistant jobs, it is so difficult to find a care home or an agency that is recruiting overseas carers. Most time you see UK only. Even if they are recruiting overseas carer, most time they want you to be a driver, and sometimes you even meet all the requirements and you will still be getting, unfortunately. Now it takes the grace of God, like, to be able to get a job from overseas. And if you go online, in 20 jobs, only 1 is recruiting from overseas, and even when you apply for it, you might not even get it, because trust me, lots and lots of people are also applying. I would like to mention that senior care assistants have been in the shortage of occupation list long before care assistants were added. So you can try to do your NVQ level 2 so you can be able to apply as a senior carer, if that makes sense. Like, there's a difference between these two. Note that. Now, what is the news? Now, there is this body called Migration Advisory Committee. Now, what do? Their role is to review the different routes in which people can come into the UK and give their report to Home Office. So these people, they have reviewed this care assistant route, and they've been able to come up with, I think, up to like 12 new implementations. Now, they are recommending that the UK government introduces a fully funded rate of pay for care workers. Now, they are saying that they want the UK government to increase the pay for care workers to £10.50, which of course is above national minimum wage, because trust me, the work carers do is a lot. I have worked as a carer and I know what it is like. Sometimes at the end of the day, your back would nearly break into two. Like you would be so worn out, so tired, and sometimes when you think about going to work, you're so mentally exhausted. So I know what it entails being a carer. No job is easy, trust me. Being a carer is rewarding, but sometimes it can be really, really stressful and tasking. So I really get where Mark is coming from. So they are recommending that the government should increase the pay to £10.50. I think most carers are being paid £9, £9.60 ish. So adding about £1 to their pay, I think it's very fair and reasonable. Number two, they're recommending that social care workers should be paid for the hours that they spend traveling or sleeping. Like as long as they're at work, like as long as it's a working hour, they have to be paid, because they believe that most carers are not being compensated and they are underpaid for the times that they spend at work. Yes, I highly agree with them. There are some jobs that when you work as a sleeping carer, like you sleep, when they are sleeping, you sleep. They pay you for the hours you're sleeping and even pay you bonus for accepting that job per week. Like in addition to your salary, some probably £100, but they pay you for sleeping in. Now for domiciliary carers, right? So that's one thing I don't like about domiciliary care. The fact that you might have 6 clients in a day, right? Now you're out of the house 8 a.m. You need to attend to your first client 8:15, probably 8:15 to 9. And then from 9, you need to go to another client to work. Now when you stay there, 9 o'clock, you leave and you need to go to another client's house 9:15. Now that 15 minutes that you spend traveling from that client's house to another house, most times it is not accounted for, it is not paid. And I absolutely dread that. Now you go out on a 12-hour shift, you leave the house 8 a.m. and you come back late at night, and when they calculate the times that you spent in the client's house, everything comes out to about 10 hours. So what happens to the remaining 2 hours? Meanwhile, somebody that works in a care home, that leaves the house and goes to the care home, stays there, or when he's done, she goes home, and the 12 hours is accounted for. So Mark is recommending that carers are being compensated for their traveling time and their sleeping time. Sleeping time, I mean when you're sleeping at work, like your role involves you sleeping in the client's house. They are recommending that carers has to be paid for that, and I think it's really good. Now they also recommended the removal of immigration skill charge, which I think is okay and fair. And number 4, they recommend that no adjustments or changes should be made to the English language requirements for overseas candidates planning on coming to the UK via the health and care worker route. So I'm not sure of the band. I think it's about 5-ish or 5.5. I think some persons accept 4.5. I'm not quite sure, but I know usually like from 5 and 5.5 and above for healthcare assistant, which to me it is very, very easy to get. I've written IELTS before without preparing so well, and I did so good. And I'm like, is this the IELTS that people are so scared of? Like IELTS, like IELTS is not even a big deal. It's a big deal when you're to get probably band 7, like doctors that I think you need to get band 7 for each of the bands, and a total of 7.5, and that is when it becomes a big deal, because you might end up just getting 6.5 in your writing and you have to keep writing. When you finally get 7 in your writing, you find out that you're getting 6.5 in reading. I think that's when it becomes really tricky. But for a band 5, to me it is very, very okay. Now number 5, they recommend that there should be a review of all visa application fees more broadly to ensure that fees are more affordable for people on middle and low incomes. I think this is very fair, this is very reasonable, because you agree with me that now, I don't know what visa fees are like now, but most people go for priority because visas can take a long time. Like recently we applied for a family member to come, and it took literally like 2 months plus for a visit visa to come out. Like the queue is crazy. So lots of people just opt in for priority. If Mark is suggesting that they review the fees and all that, I think it's only fair. Probably when they review priority will reduce more. I don't know. Now this is the part that is very interesting and juicy. Now they are recommending that the decision to make health and care eligible for the health and care worker visa should be made permanent. That is, not have a sunset date. So they're recommending that this carer route should be made permanent, just like, nurses. So they're suggesting that they should just leave it there, probably till when they've gotten enough carers in the country, then they can probably put a stop to it. But for now, all that carers are needed, there is no point having a sunset date, which to me it is the good news. It is amazing, it is beautiful, and I just cannot wait for the final update. Like, I am so itchy because I mean lots of people have been able to come into the UK. Like I keep saying it, when I go to my town center, I see blacks left, right, center, and I feel so happy when I see them. That's why I've been able to come up with my street content, because I mean, you see your people, you ask them how far, how is the country, and they give contribution. Seriously, I love that nature. I won't lie. Now, number 7, that government should keep workers on the shortage occupation list until the next review is completed. Now, you guys, what do you think of this recommendation? I think it is really good. It is really sound. In addition to this update, the Welsh government of Scotland, they are looking at increasing carers pay to the real minimum wage, because the real minimum wage is actually, I think, it's £10.90, while the current minimum wage should be about £9.60. So you know, a lot of people want to come to England, and I still do not know why, because I believe when you go to Wales, you still see blacks. Like almost everything that is in England should be in Wales. I don't know. I've never been to Wales before, or Scotland, but I think you should also look at that option, because I mean, UK is UK. It's a developed society. England, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, wherever you find yourself, the most important thing is that you're in the UK. When it's time for you to get your ILR, you get your ILR. When it's time for you to get your passport, get your passport. Like, it's still that blue passport. British passport is British passport, and is one of the strongest passports in the world. Gives you access to various countries without too much talky. Without too much talky. When you want to travel like this, you just keep your green passport one corner, carry your blue passport and travel, so that at least you get first class treatment. I want to believe. So anywhere you find yourself in the UK should be fine. So you guys, trust me to deliver whenever the government makes their final and last statement about this care assistance route, if it's going to be permanent, or if they're going to stop it, or if they will just extend it a bit. Trust me, I'm going to bring it here, because I mean, I came here to announce it when it was announced, and I'm sure lots of people followed me because of that, so why not? So you guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and of course I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.